everybody, welcome to Sports for All. I'm your host Aiden, and today I've got a really exciting guest. So do you want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yeah, hi guys, my name's Kayshia Phillips. I am pleasured to be here, so thank you for Eden for inviting me. I'm the youth voice lead at Ingeus UK, so that's where I've previously met Eden. But I'm also a captain of my local women's football team as well, so happy to come on and share some of my stories.
Amazing. I'm so excited to hear them, Keisha. So my first question is, do you want to tell us a bit about your sporting background? Like, how did you get involved? And maybe if you were involved in any other sports growing up as well?
Yeah, so my journey is a bit unconventional. A lot of the people that I play sports with all started really, really young, but I did not. I was a late bloomer. I didn't actually start playing football till my late 20s, so still quite new to it. Only been playing a few years, but never really got into it. I think growing up, I played a lot of netball and rounders at school, but again, just in school, didn't really play sports out of school. I was more into my dance and musical theatre side of life, so very, very different. And there just wasn't time for both. There wasn't money for both in my family. It's all expensive to pay to go to different clubs and things, so it was kind of one or the other. It wasn't until going to uni, meeting new friends, meeting new people, and becoming friends with people who did play football, and after going and supporting and watching them, that I kind of felt a bit jealous, like sitting on the sidelines watching. Like I wanted to be on the pitch running around with them. Wasn't sure if I could do it or not because it looked very, very tiring. But yeah, so got towards my late 20s, started watching women's football. Never really been a big fan of watching male football. I don't know what it is. I just never have, and maybe that's because I wasn't really a big football fan as a child. But yeah, so since watching women's football, having friends who played football, and then deciding to, bite the bullet and get involved, I started just training with some teams, and then decided I absolutely loved it. And then since then, I've been playing now for, yeah, just over 3 years.
Wow, amazing. Just shows you can start at any age and any time. Exactly. And
No,
like
that's
even if you're not the
definitely
most
for
sporty
sure.
person growing up, you can still find the love and still really get something out of it and find
Yeah.
something that you really enjoy.
And when we sit talking and all my friends talking about all the times their parents were traveling them to training when they were young, and I was like, I have nothing to share that is relevant whatsoever because I did none of that. But it's nice to hear that, even though they started when they're so young, they're still really open to people starting at different ages as well. And I've never been treated any different for not having that same background or experience. And it's great. It's a great social. It's really good for, my mental health and well-being, and just doing something different, very different to everything else I do in life. But I absolutely love it.
Yeah, definitely. It's such a like good escapism as well. I feel like you can just really like switch off and just like kick and to like
Yeah.
run or like anything. It's just like a great kind of way to just get out of your head.
Absolutely, absolutely. And always trying to make sure I kick the ball and not anybody else.
Although for me it would have been kicking other people.
Yeah, I can't say it's not happened once or twice.
So my next question is, what have been some of your biggest inspirations, both in sport but also outside of sport as well? It's quite a big question.
Yeah, inspirations. I think inspirations in sport. It's really hard to say because, like I said, I'm not a big historic football person. I don't know a lot about football, but I think when you look at players like, let's say, Alex Scott, Leo Williamson, people like that, they don't inspire me just from their talent, although their talent's great. But I think just how they use their platforms to advocate for women in sport is inspiring to me. I think since being in football, I didn't realise just how bad inequalities were, just how many, well, lack of opportunities there were for women being part of a football club who have a men's side. We have to do all of our own fundraising. We don't get any support from the male side. So again, until being a part of it, I didn't realise just how bad that still was, and it still is today. So I think when you see, these famous footballers, let's say, who we all know are really great at playing, and that's why they are where they are. But when they then take the time out to use those platforms to advocate for different causes and things like that, I think for me, not that I'll ever be famous in football, absolutely not. But that's also the type of person that would want to be, and especially do for my team now. I do a lot of our social media and fundraising to make sure that we can keep the opportunity going for girls and women, because without it, we just wouldn't have that platform. So yeah, definitely people like that. Definitely people who don't just play football, earn loads of money, and that's it. I think with those that go above and beyond to make the platform as equal as possible, and hopefully in the future more equal than it is now for girls and women.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's so lovely to see like so many more like women and girls who are involved in sport like speaking out against and like obviously it's awful that they still exist, but I think it's really bringing awareness and like making sure that people's voices are heard and like hopefully breaking down those barriers
Yeah,
for the
absolutely.
future.
I mean,
Yeah.
my little sister, she's 12 now. She actually started playing football a couple of years ago as well. And again, crazy because I never did that as a child. She actually started swimming lessons first, and she was told you couldn't do both. It's too expensive. And she said, "Oh, it's fine. I can swim now," and
Yeah.
decided to join football. So hopefully she can swim. But it's just nice even now that I've got that knowledge and that thing that we now have in common in an interest. And I take her to the football, and yeah, it's just really nice that something that I've become to enjoy. She absolutely loves and plays football, and we have something in common, which I think if it wasn't for football, we're very, very different, especially when she's 12 and I'm a lot older. So yeah, it's nice to have that, and it's nice to see the opportunities that she's getting that I know weren't there for a lot of girls when they were younger. So it is moving in the right direction. Probably not as fast as we'd like. We do
Yeah.
have positives, but yeah, absolutely, it's moving slowly, but there's definitely a lot of people out there doing as much as they can to keep it moving. So my hats go off to those people, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so lovely about your sister as well. Like she started
Oh,
football.
she loves it. She absolutely, she lives in football kits now. Non-school uniform day, she's in a football kit. Play out with her friends, she's in a football kit. What do you want for your birthday? Oh, a new football kit. She's football obsessed, and absolutely loves Arsenal women. Her favourite player is Alessia Russo. So yeah, she just loves it.
Oh, so nice. I know we're all booked out. She'll probably dress up as a footballer. I probably predicted the teachers were like, oh yeah, she'll definitely be a football.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. So my next question is, what skills have you learned from being involved in football and how have they helped you in your career, but also in life as well?
I mean, loads. I mean, being part of a social team that's not part of, that you're being paid to be at work, for example, it comes with very different. I think you learn a lot about different people, different walks of life, how to communicate and speak with people in a very sometimes high intense situation on a football pitch if you are losing. So I think teamwork for me, in a different type of teamwork, as much as I've done lots around teamwork in my job. Again, you can never know everything about teamwork. You can never know everything about different people. So being around different people, different walks of life, being around solely women brought a new challenge. It's crazy. Hats off to people who went to an all girls school, because it's very, very different. But yeah, teamwork, resilience, like I said, you win games, you lose games, but the only way you can keep building that teamwork is by being resilient. And again, that's in life, isn't it? You have some ups and you have some downs. So I've definitely grown more resilient. Communication, especially. Um, Again, they're all little things that you wouldn't realise that you do still keep learning, because we do this all day, every day in our personal lives and our jobs. But the different contexts and different situations give you different tests and different challenges, because everybody's so different. In our football team, everyone's got vast different levels of experience, knowledge. So being able to us all work together and communicate that is super important. And I think my first year playing football with the team I'm at now, we struggled quite a lot with that.
Yeah.
However, since then we've grown. We do now communicate. We do work together. And already this season, it's a much stronger start and much more positive environment to be around as well. So yeah, 100% that. And self belief, I think self belief is really important for me. I think being around a lot of women who have played football for a long time, sometimes it can be really easy to put yourself down and maybe feel like you're not good enough to be in that situation. So yeah, having that self belief for me is just to keep going as long as I'm trying my best and learning each week. Then that is the place for me. And again, that then gets taken back in to just anything that I do in my life. I definitely I mean, we all do, don't we? We all love to say we're confident, but I think we all definitely don't have as much self confidence as we definitely should as human beings. So just trying to take that in all aspects of life, job, personal, friendships, relationships, just having a little bit more belief in yourself and whatever you're doing. And, like you say, trying something new for me already took a lot of guts and took a lot of confidence. So it's remembering that I did do that a few years ago and that I can do that at any point in my life with anything, whether that's sports related or not.
Yeah, exactly. I love that answer. I so agree. I think, yeah, just taking that first step is always the hardest one, but once you do it, you're flying really. And then just, yeah, like you were saying, kind of also making sure you're reflecting back on that and saying, actually, yeah, I did do that. I could probably do that again.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
yeah, so, so important. So my next question is, what are some barriers and challenges that young people face in getting involved in sport? And do you have any advice or tips for how they can like overcome those barriers?
Again, probably a very different answer for me, considering I started a lot later in life. I think if we look back to when I probably conventionally would have started football, the barriers would have been there not being any opportunities for
Yeah.
women. But I think for me, starting later in life has its own challenges. Obviously, that self doubt, the gap in fitness. I play with some people who have been running around pitches for a very long time, so are definitely a hell of a lot fitter than me. And just that feeling of maybe not belonging. I think overcoming them can be quite difficult and has its challenges. Luckily, I'm in an opportunity where near me there is a ladies football teams and it is growing, like I previously mentioned. So there is opportunities, but with the opportunities comes the other challenges from being against people when there's not as many opportunities. Everybody's fighting for those few opportunities. So when you're going to football teams who potentially host trials, if you aren't good enough, then you aren't going to get in the team. So it's about looking for teams where one, you are welcomed at your ability, but also a team that's encouraging and supporting of people of different abilities and backgrounds. So yeah, definitely just starting later in life kind of sets you back a little bit. But I think my biggest tip there is to find the right environment where you can thrive in and not feel rubbish in.
Yeah.
There's no point trying to force something to happen. Things take time and just asking for help. I think there's been many times when I'd speak to our coaches and the players around me, ask for feedback, ask for help. And I've definitely found from the different football teams I've been a part of, that environment is huge. So you always need to find the team that suits you and teammates are that supportive, because if they're not supportive, it just makes you not enjoy what you're doing and then you don't stick at it. So yeah, definitely don't try to fit in. Find somewhere that is welcoming of you and everybody works together to fit in and creates that team. And don't stay somewhere where you're not happy. There is lots more opportunity now, and it's fine to leave and start again somewhere else, because 9 times out of 10 it's 10 times better. And you, for people maybe that aren't enjoying the sport that they've been doing for a long time, then that's probably why. And if you once enjoyed it, you can enjoy it again. So yeah, keep going, but definitely find the right environment and right fit for you. Ask for help, find feedback, find that supportive teammates, and yeah, build those connections. It really does help.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that like supportive atmosphere and environment is just so, so crucial. And if the team isn't the right fit for you, then that's not to say that another team won't be. And I think just remembering that as well, because
Yeah,
I think, yeah, it's so, so important to just find what works for you and find where you feel like you belong and where things fit. Really good pieces of advice. So my last question is another piece of advice. What advice would you give to a young person who, or somebody who's in their late 20s, maybe, wanting to get involved in sport, but who might struggle with confidence?
I actually wrote something for this one, so I didn't get it wrong. One for Kayshia's quote book, I think. So I put, start where you are and don't worry about being perfect. Confidence grows with experience, and every athlete, no matter how skilled, had to start somewhere. Find a team or group that makes you feel welcome. And remember that your voice, your effort, and your presence matter. Sport isn't just the fastest or about being the strongest, it's for anyone willing to show up and give it a go.
That is definitely one to put in your quote book.
But it's true, and I think for me, it just speaks from where I've been. I started knowing that I didn't have a lot of experience, but still wanted to do it. So found somewhere where I could do that, and from then I've been able to grow and develop. And again, like I said, there's so many different sports teams out there, not just football, that are very different levels. So from beginner to advanced, and whatever we want to call all the terminology. So yeah, you don't have to be the fastest, the strongest, the best skilled. You just have to want to do it, and if you want to do it, there's a place for you to do it somewhere. It's just looking for that space and not giving up until you find the space for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think finding that space and that community, yeah, is so important, and you will find it. And if you try a sport and it's not for you, then that's not to say like you're not able to do sport. Like there's
Yeah,
so many
of course.
different types and so many different varieties and different
And people
teams.
and people play sport for so many different reasons. People
Yeah.
play sport because they're really good at sport and it's their passion. People play sport for the social side of it, especially as people start to get older. It can be quite difficult to make friends and make new connections, and sports and social things are really important in that, adult development. So again, people don't just play sports because they're good at it. It can be from a social point of view, that mental health and well-being, for getting out of the house. People join sports for many reasons, and it doesn't matter whatever your reason is. If you want to join, you just join.
Yeah, I so agree. Yeah, and you'll get so much out of it as well, and you probably won't even realize what you get out of it as well until
100%.
later on, and you might be having a conversation like this, and you're like, "Oh
Yeah,
wow,
until
like
somebody
that
like
was
you just
really
starts
shaped me."
asking me questions, and I'm like, oh, actually, yeah, this is quite insightful, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting to kind of reflect, isn't it? Yeah, so that's all my questions. Thank you so much, Keisha. That was really great. I really enjoyed it.
No, thank you for having me. It's been great, and I say look forward or dread to listening to it back because we all hate the sound of our own voice. But yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on and asking me.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. If you want to connect with me further, you can find me on LinkedIn at Eden Byrne, and be sure to check out all the other amazing podcasts on Be the Change Media Network.